Hey, welcome back. It's been a while, but it's Eric Arnold, and we're here in the politics barn on this happy marijuana day, the 20th of April. Well, hell, what to talk about here today? Scribbled down just a few notes here, and I just, kind of wanted to keep my foot in the door here as far as having done a political video now that baseball season started, but I got free speech and politics written in my notes. Free speech has always been the primary issue, I think, of what we're doing here in the barn, making these political videos. Nothing upsets me more than censorship, which is going on and extensively throughout the United States at all levels. Everywhere somebody's trying to shut you up if you don't have the right opinion. Oh, I just thought of something else. We'll write that down. Masks. Masks. Another thing that's near and dear to my heart. So I guess in the free speech realm, the big news is, I guess, that Elon Musk is threatening to buy Twitter, which I guess Twitter is a publicly traded company. So what that means is that if you accumulate enough shares that are publicly traded of a company, you basically control that company. So Musk has offered to buy the company at a price that's well above the market value, the current market value of the company. So he's thrown it out to all the shareholders saying, I'll pay you 25% more than what your company's trading at right now. If you want to sell me your shares, and then I'll own the company and I'll take it private. In other words, then there won't be any more publicly traded shares of Twitter. Elon Musk will simply own the company and control it. There are a lot of companies in the United States that are not publicly traded. You don't have to be a publicly traded corporation. I've always wanted to buy a chunk of the Yuengling Brewery here in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Went from being just a small little regional brewery 30 years ago to a national power. But of course, the owners of Yuengling, the Yuengling family, go figure, never took the company public. Why do you take a company public? Well, that means you then sell your company to the public, basically. You retain some ownership so you can control it, but you give them an opportunity to pay you to get a cut of the company. It's basically a way for you to get really freaking rich fast. So that at some point is what Jack Dorsey did with Twitter, where he sold his Twitter company to the public and got himself filthy rich by doing that. So that's where Musk is now stepping in, going, hey, I think Twitter could be a hell of a lot more and be a hell of a lot more profitable, and I'd like to buy it. Plus, I don't like the way they censor everybody. Well, apparently, the Twitter board of directors, so the management of Twitter now, I guess they're somewhat involved in whether or not the company is going to accept his buyout bid. See, this part I know basically what I know through movies like Wall Street and Margin Call and things like that. So I'm not that versed on the ins and outs. There was a good movie way back in the day with James Garner, Barbarians at the Gate, about the buyout of R.J. Nabisco, or Reynolds Nabisco, I think it was back then. Tobacco company and Nabisco were merged together. The cookie company, Oreos. Well, at any rate, so the board of directors, of course, they don't want to sell to Musk because they don't want to lose control of the company. They don't want to make money. And this became very apparent now because Musk has offered so much money for this company. It would be a good deal for all the shareholders to say, yeah, here you go. Here, we'll sell out and take your overinflated price. But the board of directors doesn't want to lose control, and they own nothing. They hardly own any of the company. They don't have any shares of the company. They're just rich people, rich liberals that have been appointed to run the company, to be caretakers of this company. Their main goal, apparently now that's obvious to everybody, that they've unanimously decided to reject Musk's offer to buy the company at a pretty inflated price, is not to make money. Not to make money for the shareholders. It's to censor people with the incorrect view of the world. Conservatives, libertarians, people on the right wing. It's to censor those people. That's the goal of the company. So, now Twitter has been outed for what everyone knew it was, a organization that has no interest in making money for its shareholders. Its sole reason for existence is so the authoritarians in the government and in the big tech industry can censor everybody. That's what Twitter's current purpose is for. They might as well just put it on their masthead, on their mission statement. Our goal is to censor people with the wrong worldview. That's our goal. So I don't know how that'll shake out, if Musk will keep after them. We're into the world of high finance and deep, dark, backdoor political maneuvering, and will he be able to do a hostile takeover of Twitter when the people that run Twitter absolutely do not want him to buy the company? It'd be interesting to see how that goes down. Or, I don't know that much about Elon Musk. I don't see him as some white knight riding to the rescue of us beaten down conservatives who've been silenced by government and big tech. Let's put it this way. He could not be any worse than the people that currently run Twitter or YouTube or Google or any other, Facebook. I mean, these are out and out authoritarians. These are people that are not good people. They are not good people at all. And the fact that they have as much power as they do is not good for any of us. So go Elon Musk. Hopefully he'll get where he needs to get to. The other free speech item I saw here, and this is just fresh in my mind. I don't know. I have a real hard, fast feel about this one way or the other. But I just saw the story and I thought, well, it seems to be something people are interested in. Is I guess Florida passed this "Don't Say Gay" bill, right? That's what the left calls it. The right, I guess, calls it the parental rights bill, which I think it basically says for grades kindergarten through third grade, we're just not going to talk about sex. Let's just not talk about sex in those early grades, and that's the law, more or less. And apparently it's a very popular bill, from what I've heard, that 60-70% of Floridians approve of the bill, or now law. So apparently one of the ways that, or reasons this bill came to be now a law, is that I guess liberals in the education business are going to TikTok, something I barely understand. At TikTok, what do I post? A 20-second video of myself? I can't say hello in less than 20 seconds, so I don't think that'd be a very good medium for me. But they post 20 seconds videos of themselves. So I guess someone on Twitter created a Twitter feed, a Twitter channel, and called it the Libs of TikTok, where they would just go through TikTok videos, and I guess they'd find liberals being just basically outing or telling what they believed, just spouting their liberal beliefs. Just like, my libertarian belief. Leave me the hell alone. There's my 20-second libertarian TikTok video. Leave me the fuck alone. But liberals are spouting their worldviews in the 20 seconds, I guess, that you get to say something in TikTok. And that's what this channel would be on Twitter, is just reposting these liberal TikToks with nothing added. That's what I'm told. Nothing added. Just here's a liberal TikTok. Here's another liberal TikTok. Here's another liberal TikTok. It's really no different than Barstool Sports, where they lift other, young women that post all these bikini pictures of themselves. I guess that's all over Instagram and Facebook and other places that I don't go. So Barstool just lifts these pictures. I don't even know they need permission, I guess, because it's already in the public realm. I don't know the details of that or what the law is there. They certainly seem to get away with it. It seems to be a large part of their website. In other words, what's different between ESPN and Barstool? Well, ESPN occasionally shows sports programming, and they don't have naked or semi-naked pictures of women under 30. That's one thing I've noticed. It's like, where are the MILFs? Come on, this is more my lane. These 19-year-olds just doesn't do it for me. Come on. But that's not Barstool. So anyway, Libs of TikTok, they're just lifting these videos of the liberals saying whatever liberal thing they believe, that men are women and women are men, or women can be men, or etc. I think the government should tell everybody what to do, or I think there should be universal health insurance, etc., etc., etc. The doctors all should work for the government, etc., etc. Well, I guess that's caused a furor, and the left, the Washington Post, has doxed, to dox, D-O-X. I guess dox, D-O-X, means to out, apparently. Whoever owns or runs this Twitter channel, which is incredibly popular. In other words, nobody's going to dox me in the barn, because nobody gives a shit about what I say here in the barn, because I got like 3 viewers. So, plus it'd be pointless to dox me, because my name is Eric Arnold. Here I am. I live in Pennsylvania. It wouldn't take more than 3 seconds to find out where I am and who I am, because I'm telling you who I am. Well, anyway, as you know, the internet is commonly replete with people that have, code names and handles and whatever. Well, I guess whoever runs Libs of TikTok is not telling the world, my name is John Smith and I live at 113, Mockingbird Lane. So the Washington Post did that for them. They found who owns and runs Libs of TikTok and posted all their, information. This is this person. They live at this address, blah, blah, blah. So everybody's mad about that. I have mixed feelings on that. Part of me wants to see the internet public. I mean, completely public. In other words, my name's Eric Arnold. So if you're going to post a comment on my channel and your code is, I like pussy 69, and you're going to badmouth me, well, I like pussy 69. That is your real name. And of course, we all know it's not. So, hey, I think maybe you should use your real name. Have the balls to use your real name if you're going to join the town square in the public discussion of ideas. Maybe you should use your real goddamn name. Now, other part of me would say the Washington Post is trying to have it both ways, where they're trying to get whoever owns Libs of TikTok, they're trying to get that person attacked and have personal people show up at the door, banging on the door, threatening them, trying to shut them up. If that is done to somebody on the left, if there's a leftist website that is being run behind a code name, and we on the right would identify that specific person, well, IHateDonaldTrump.com is run by Joe Smith over there. He's the one that runs that IHateDonaldTrump.com. It didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Somebody's behind it, and it's Joe Smith. If the right does that, they go crazy. It's like, well, you're trying to shut up Joe Smith. You're trying to intimidate him. I guess. It's one thing to identify who's who and who's saying what. I am somewhat in favor of that. I don't agree with, I get to hide behind some cloud of anonymity while I participate in the public discussion. I don't know you're allowed to do that. It happens all the time. I don't know. There's a very popular website that I go to called ZeroHedge.com. Well, the guy that runs it's named Tyler Durden. No, it isn't. Tyler Durden is a character in a movie called Fight Club. So that's not his real name, believe it or not. So it's like, well, what? But they hide behind the anonymity. Now part of that is because when you're speaking against the power, when you're the small guy speaking against the big giant monolithic view of the world, yeah, you're going to get crushed if you're the little guy speaking out going, I'm Eric Arnold, by God. You're the mouse there with the giant freaking hawk swooping down. And the hawk goes, hey, there's Eric Arnold. Lunch. So, yeah, it's kind of a little foolish, I guess, if you're the small little guy wanting to speak truth to power against a giant monolithic entity that's going to crush you if it knows who you are. So, yeah, part of me could see, all right, maybe there should be some anonymity there. That not everybody is in a position where they got nothing to lose, basically, like I do. I got nothing to lose. There's nothing you can do to me. If I would ever get so popular that I would become dangerous to the establishment, I don't know, there's a hell of a lot they could do to me. I guess I could always think of something. But, a lot of people want to say their piece and they don't want to be attacked for it. I don't know. Attacked can also mean you have to defend your position. So that goes both ways. What I think is totally out of bounds is threats, cancellation. In other words, if I'm identifying Joe Smith who runs IHateDonaldTrump.com, I don't think he should be canceled. I don't think he should be silenced. It's just, that's him. Here he is. That's Joe Smith. He hates Donald Trump. Whereas whoever's running Libs of TikTok, well, they're trying to cancel the person. They're trying to take the channel off the air for no reason whatsoever. I mean, all it's doing is amplifying the voices of leftists who've already put their viewpoints out there. You're just amplifying their voices. What's happening, of course, is people are hearing these voices of the leftists and they're horrified. They're like, holy shit, I didn't realize these people were running around, and particularly, I didn't realize these people are running around teaching my young children. I didn't understand. I didn't know. It's like, some of these people are just so far unlike you and I. It's like, all right, I mean, I'm a libertarian. Let your freak flag fly. Have at it. You want to be a boy on Monday, a girl on Tuesday, and a Shetland pony on Wednesday? Have at it. But I don't know that's the person I want teaching my kid. So, that's what's happening. And that's where this Don't Say Gay bill apparently originated from. That this Twitter channel filtered into the governor's office in Florida, and they were like, holy cow, is this going on? We better get into this, especially because it's already getting to the parents that the conservatives in this country, we've done a bad job of competing in the arena of ideas. We've ceded everything to the left. We've just not competed. And when I say what's everything? Everything. Politics is everything. That's where I wanted to go next with what I want to talk about. I've been thinking about what's politics. It's everything. Politics is basically the interaction between human beings that disagree over something. Over anything, something, anything. Whether it be sports, whether it be music, education, government, how much money the government should tax you, business. When humans disagree over something, that's politics. You're basically trying to get your way and not be hated for it. That's politics. Anytime you hear anybody say something like, I think they should take the politics out of fill in the blank, you're probably talking to an authoritarian. That is an authoritarian viewpoint. You can't take politics out of it. What that means is I want a group of people like me to make a decision that I will like. A group of experts like myself will therefore then make the decision without anyone being able to argue a counter viewpoint. That is what that means when you say, I think we should take the politics out of it. Science, the CDC, as if the CDC is not a political organization. Give me a break. How can you say the CDC is not a political organization? They're not following any sort of science. How can you say they're following the science when the science in America apparently says we have to mask up forever, whereas the science in Sweden says this was over a year and a half ago? It's the same facts. It's the same set of data. Yet in America, we've come to the conclusion that we got to wear masks forever, according to the CDC, whereas in Sweden, they've been mostly free the whole damn time. And the results are pretty similar. So as far as who's dead from the pandemic, it's all politics. The decision to keep the masks on has nothing to do with the set of data or facts about the virus. It's all about the values and the conclusions, the people that run the CDC. It's all about what they have decided is the best course of action according to their values and their political viewpoints. There's no magic answer as far as what to do with that sort of emergency, if you will, with the virus. It's politics. It's all politics. So if you got a sign in your yard that says, I follow the science, you're an authoritarian. That's what that means. I would rather have a sign in my yard that says, I'm a politician. I like politics. Politics are important. Politics means you get to have a free exchange of ideas and argue different viewpoints and then possibly come to a compromise where both sides are either happy or unhappy. Some of the best compromises are when both sides are unhappy. That means both sides had to give something up. That's not terrible. That's what did not happen in this pandemic and what we're going to speak extensively about as we head towards November in Pennsylvania here and in most states run by blue governors. They just shoved it down your goddamn throat and said, our way or the highway. You got to close your business. You got to stay home. We're locking you down whether you like it or not. Well, wait a minute, the Republican legislature said. Let's talk about this. One size fits all. That might not work for some of us, especially out here in the sticks. Shut up, sit down, you don't have a say. That's what happened here in Pennsylvania, and it was not right. So yeah, that's politics. That's politics. It's an exercise of power. So anyone that says, oh, let's get the politics out of it. There's politics in everything. Everything. You want to go play cards with the boys on Saturday night. Your wife wants you to sit home and watch a marathon of NCIS, which you absolutely don't want to do. But you want to smooth the waters there and you want the wife to be happy. Well, that's politics. Can you negotiate your way out of the NCIS marathon and go play cards and not pay a vicious, awful price for the next month or 2 or 3 or a year? Or you just need to bite the bullet and watch the fucking NCIS marathon. Maybe you might just have to do that, because the price is simply too high. So that's politics. It's all politics. Everything's politics. Anytime the two people don't agree exactly on something, that's a political debate. So, it just makes me laugh. People say, I hate politics. Politics that means you hate disagreement. You hate people that either don't agree with you 100% of the time or at all have a contrary viewpoint of the world than you do, which means you probably never leave the house. I hate politics. Last thought I had was masks, which I think this is probably just a me issue at this point. I hate masks. I can't stand masks. They don't work. They've never worked. They're ridiculous. They're stupid. They're pointless. But for the most part, they're over. And people that have my viewpoint, for the most part, we all live in mask-free areas. So what do we care about it? The masks still exist on airplanes up until just recently. They still exist in big cities, for the most part here and there. A lot of people that have my viewpoint never go any of those places. They don't fly. They don't go to big cities. So they could give a shit what the Democrats in Philadelphia want to do. Well, I still want to go on the occasional airplane and not have to wear the ridiculous mask. So I'm still one of those few people that's like rooting to lift this idiocy. It's like, come on. I would like to actually, if we can afford it in Biden's economy, I would like to go on vacation with my wife to Tuscany. Once, not twice, once. I would like to do that. But I can't because I'm not going to sit on a goddamn airplane for 13 hours wearing a fucking mask. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to be scolded by some 26-year-old flight attendant who gets off on telling people to pull their masks up. That kind of torture, I'm not signing up for. I don't need that aggravation in my life. So I'm hoping that at some point this gets lifted. Well, this past week, a young federal judge in Florida, a Trump appointee, ruled the masks are unconstitutional. The CDC has overstepped its bounds. So, oh, though that was all political. Of course it was all political. You leftists that watch this channel. Of course it was political. The law is one of the most political things out there. It drives me crazy when these lawyers position themselves as apolitical. Bullshit! Bullshit! You're not an apolitical lawyer. You cannot be an apolitical lawyer. You have a certain set of values and a history that makes you see these legal issues in a certain way. Do you take the government side or you take the side of the people? It's you did this idea that, well, the law is the law. Oh, really? You can't even take the most basic set of facts and get people to agree on it. If I take something from a store, is that legal? Now, it used to be we would say, well, did you pay for it? Well, no, I just took it. Just, doop, doop. Well, that's illegal. Not in certain places in this country, apparently, where the lawyers have all gotten together and said, well, if it's under $1,000, I guess, do we really care? And the merchant's saying, I care. I care. And the lawyers are all saying, nah, we don't give a shit about that. We're not going to prosecute that. That's just small potatoes. The merchant's like, well, what? We can't even agree that basic theft is illegal. So don't give me this shit about how the law is apolitical. So the judge appointed by Trump made a political decision that the CDC overstepped their bounds. She said, you know what? In a free country, the CDC does not get to just make its law up forever. Forever. Now into year, 3 of this goddamn pandemic. The CDC does not get to just continually just make up law. It's not elected. It's an unelected body. This makes no sense. This is not what the Constitution says. I agree wholeheartedly with her. Hooray for her who had the balls to make this decision. Now, of course, the Biden administration is going to appeal the decision. I think, if this tells you who's running the government, Biden goes out there the next day and says, well, if you fly on an airplane, then it should be your choice whether to wear the mask or not. An hour later, his Goebbels there, Psaki, his sock puppet talking mouthpiece said, yep, the DOJ is going to appeal. Well, wait a minute, your boss just said it should be optional. Is he even in the loop on this stuff? Or do you just send him out to eat ice cream? That's scary in a way, because we're in a position right now as a country where there could be a snap decision required of the head guy. The president of the United States may have to make a snap call, and this guy's wholly incapable of doing it. He's not in the loop. He says one thing, his administration does the opposite. Forgot to shut the phone off. Amateur mistake. I forgot to shut the phone off. Anyway, where was I? So I'm talking about the dementia of Joe Biden and the fact that he is completely out of the loop. He said basically they weren't going to appeal the mask decision. As the Department of Justice says, yes, we are. So, well, who's running this show? So at any rate, as we, us on the right, have told you for years, literally years, we've said this now, they will never let go of this power that they've grabbed for themselves during the pandemic. They will never willingly let go of it. They're going to try to force you to wear these goddamn masks forever. Forever. And much like the laws in a Democrat-run place like Philadelphia, they're arbitrarily enforced. The Philadelphia Sixers played Toronto, Monday? First day of their new recurring mask mandate. Philadelphia is one of the few places now that has reinstated the goddamn mask mandate. So it doesn't serve the city of Philadelphia to torture their local sports team run by a high-profile Democrat donor, Josh Harris. So they allowed, basically, the fans inside the arena just take all their masks off. Everybody just we gotta wear a mask, to get in. And then you just all took them off. And there was no enforcement of the rule. So everybody's cool with that. Am I cool with that? Hell, of course I'm cool with that. I don't think you should have to wear a mask. I think it's idiotic that anyone's forcing you to wear a mask. But, if the city wants to punish an enemy of theirs, let's say a bar owner who they stepped out of line or perhaps has spoken out of line against the lockdowns, well, they'll send their Gestapo in there and punish the bar because it's allowing people in there to not wear their masks. That's how that works. It's enforced on enemies of the state, not enforced on friends of the state. So, the mask mandates will never go away in Democrat-controlled areas. You're going to deal with it in those areas forever, or until they're punished so hard electorally that they give it up on their own, until they're like, wow, we are so far out of power right now. Why is that? Well, maybe people are sick and tired of you telling them what to do over idiotic things that have no effect whatsoever. So the masks for now, we don't have to wear them on airplanes. But I expect a decision probably from the appellate court in the next month or two overruling the judge in Florida, because that's just generally how that goes. Lawyers, 2/3 of them, are Democrats. They like power. They like the government to have power. So for an appellate court to stand there and say, yeah, I mean, there are boundaries to government's power. That's a heavy lift for a government judge. That's a heavy lift for a government judge to say, there's a limit to government power. To a government lawyer, to a government judge, there is no limit to governmental power. There's no limit. There's no limit. So that's what's going to happen. The mask overturn will be overturned, and we'll be back to wearing masks on airplanes, thanks to the Democrats. All right, that's all I got for you. Hey, thanks for being here. If you like political content, hey, put it in the comments, and I'll make more of these videos. My time is somewhat limited now in that baseball season started, and that's supposed to be my bread and butter, although right now we're losing, so don't like losing. But we'll do better, maybe. Hey, good, thanks. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll talk again. Eric Arnold, I believe in free speech, and I'm signing off.